friend. Welcome to the treehouse. Want to come inside? Oh, wait, just one last thing. All right, let's go inside. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the treehouse. Frame by frame, October 2nd. I'm so excited about today because we're going to be doing some Symmetry photo reviews. Imagine if this was actually my treehouse. Oh, I left my door open. No one's home though. That's okay. You guys can see my hallway that way. But imagine if I was actually in my treehouse. That's a treehouse I built for my kids at our house. Someday I'm going to do it. I'm going to get up there. I'm going to figure out how to live stream it from up there. But there's still bugs. There's still mosquitoes. So when it gets a little bit cooler. Well, anyways, welcome to today's show. Got a great episode coming in today. I've been talking for like 20 hours straight because I have been filming what's on today's topics, the Powerful Photography course. This is something I've mentioned several times if you've been watching these shows. It's a new course that I'm working on trying to show people, inspire people to have more impact with their photography. Let me know if I'm coming in loud and clear. So I mentioned that because this is going to be a long show. We have so many photos, which I'm so excited about. It seems like people are really enjoying frame by frame, and I think that means more people are posting photos to the weekly challenges, which is awesome. And I'm going to try to get through all of them. So today it's the Symmetry challenge. We're going to do a rapid review of the Natural Frames challenge that was a while back, but I'm trying to get through those as well. And then a new little segment, which is Rate My Teacher. I mentioned last week that someone actually recommended that I should participate in these challenges. So I should be, you can rate me then. So that's going to pop up in the middle of the episode. So stay tuned for that because I want you guys to rate what I did for the Symmetry photo challenge. But yeah, as I mentioned, Powerful Photography, this is a course that I'm working on. It'll be coming out in the next month or so. Hopefully I can edit it. I'm almost done filming it. I also posted in the community, if you have any ideas for how you are making an impact with your photography, I posted in the announcements this post here. Oh, look at lots of comments there, but I would love to share your ideas with the other students as well. So if there's anything you've done, big or small, impacting your, family with your photography, impacting a friend, people around you in your community, or if you've used your photography to impact something at large, a social cause, something you're passionate about, telling a story that needs to be told, I would love any ideas that you have for ways you did that specifically so that I can share them with the students in that class. I think it'd be really cool for me to kind of like share what other photographers are doing as well. So that class coming up, but we're going to get right to the Symmetry photo challenges. So first off, who is new here? I see a lot of great recommendation, I'm reading comments, sorry. My brain's trying to catch up. Great people who are here every week. I love it. Emma, Maria, Luna's videos, which is, oh my God, who's Luna's videos? From vacation in Montenegro. Maria, Magenta Bear, Suzanne, is that you? Amar, so let us know how you're doing, where you're tuning in from, if anything's exciting happening this week for you in the world of photography or not, like going on vacation in Montenegro. But if you're new here, give us a comment as well. The way this works is I go through the photos from last week's photo challenge. I give it a 1 through 5-star rating. 3 is my baseline. Most photos are going to get 3 because you're all amazing photographers. And it's hard for me to, just everyone's so amazing. So I start at 3. If you post a good photo, it's a 3. I go up from there if it's a photo that stands out. Hello, Bob. Rosemary, welcome, new here. Linda, hey, how's it going from my hometown? Happy to have you back here with us live. So let's get right into it. Got a lot of photos. So we're going to get into it. So symmetry, what am I looking for? This is a good example of it. I'm looking for a photo that captures something, whether it's something in the photo, a subject that has symmetry, or compositionally you have captured something with symmetry. So that could be like using a reflection or some sort of thing in your photo that has a balance. Similar balance on left, right, top, bottom, something symmetrical. Emma asks, when is my course going to be done? I am finishing filming it this week, and I'm hopefully going to have it out in a week or two. I'm toying with the idea of either launching it here on the community platform, because on Udemy, things are changing, and it's a little bit harder to promote our courses to everyone. They're switching to a subscription model. So promoting our courses and selling them individually is a little bit harder. So I'm considering doing it here on the community. I'm not sure if you guys care. It would be a very similar format. You get to learn, you get to like just take the lessons and all that, but we will see. All right, so let's get to it. Amar, very cool photo, symmetrical. It's a little off center. I don't know where you were taking the photo from, but like because you're not perfectly centered on this building, it's a little bit off. And I'm gonna give this one a 2. Start off with a 2, so a little bit lower. I think it's interesting. It's a little bit dark. It's not perfectly symmetrical though. It's a little bit off. And this is one of those photos where if you're a beginner, you're taking a photo like this and you're wondering, how can I make a photo better? Do it at a different time of day. Get up early, stay out late, see what the sky, how the sky changes. The lighting in the sky can make a dramatic impact on what this photo can look like. In terms of the price of the course, Emma's asking, I don't know, what do you guys think is fair? I mean, we usually launch our courses for like $10, which is like very low, but I like making them accessible to people. But I don't know, maybe like $20. Is that too much to ask? I think that might be worth it. We'll see. You let me know. So this is a cool photo. I don't know where this is, but very symmetrical. I love these buildings like this that have symmetry in them. It reminds me of like the Taj Mahal, where it's a symmetrical building inherently to them. And yeah, I think it's good. The lighting's a little hazy, and that's just when you were there. The sky was like overcast, and so it creates some overexposure. I would love to see more details on that building, but I love that you captured this straight on. So I think 3 stars is a pretty good rating for this. Steven, nice little lamppost. Another thing that you just find in nature that is symmetrical. And oh, that is the entrance to the Taj Mahal. I didn't know that, Linda. Okay, for me, I couldn't know. Anyways, Stephen Morrissey, this is lamppost, something you find out in nature. I love that you just found something in nature that is symmetrical. I almost wish like this is a photo where like you're trying to capture symmetry obviously for the challenge, but like the centering of the subject, just maybe it's the crop or something that it just like I don't know. There's something about it. I don't know. What do you think? I love hearing your comments too. Maybe cropped at the bottom, like sort of like a third of the way up, so that you lose like the patch of dirt at the bottom that's not symmetrical. You kind of lose that line of grass in the bottom just to have like a perfectly balanced symmetrical photo. Or maybe tight up there on the top of the lamppost where you really see that symmetry on both sides of the post. Might have been better. I don't know. I'm also going to give this one a 2. So as you can see, I am trying to speed up my reviews just because there are so many photos and I want to get to all of them. But yeah, hopefully my feedback is also helpful. If I'm not like giving enough feedback, then I'm going to have to change something. I'm either going to have to do like a 24-hour live stream, or someone suggested just picking the top photos, but I don't necessarily want to do that because I think that the photos, it's not just about the photos that I think look the best. I think giving feedback for the photos that I think could use a little help, it's like more beneficial for them to be showcased here, right? So I'm committed to the live stream though. So anyways, all right, Bob. Lovely symmetry. This is like, I love this challenge because you go out and you just start to see like, wow, there's so much symmetry naturally in our environments, not just in the environment, but in man-made architectural features as well. So I really love this. This is a tough one because the lighting's like pretty dark in there, but you have these lights that are lighting up the building interior. So just, yeah, this is just a really lovely architectural photo. If I was to be super picky, see that door in the bottom left, the exit door that's open, and then the one on the right is closed. Bob, run over there, shut that door for the photo. No, this is a really good photo. I'm gonna give it a 4. Love it. Lovely lighting for the interior. You probably could have even come down on the exposure just a little bit, so that you can see more of that stained glass window in the middle. It's a bit overexposed, but you're obviously trying to expose for the interior too. So, but great photo. David Austin. Ooh, this is an interesting one. This one looks like it's is that in Kyoto, Japan? That looks like one of those buildings that I've seen in Kyoto. Interesting edit or crop or rotation. You rotated it so that the reflection is up top. It kind of like, my brain is going crazy trying to figure out what's going on. But I like how the line of the horizon is actually completely like across the top, from top to bottom corner. And maybe this is I think it was you who was having a conversation in the chat last week about, isn't a angle, like purposeful angle, like isn't that okay? And I think this is like a dramatic example of, yes, that's like a pretty cool take on this photo. And it's one that, I've seen photos of this exact place dozens and dozens of time, and I think just doing something different is pretty unique. And the square crop works too. It's honestly not like the most pleasant looking photo for me, and I think that's on purpose, but it's still a really cool edit. I'm going to be a little tough on you, David. I'm going to give it a 3. It's still like very symmetrical, very cool, very creative. Just me personally, it's not like my favorite. And I always say this, if you're new here, take everything I say with a grain of salt. Like, I'm just a guy who likes photos and likes sharing photography with the world around me. So I'm not right about everything. And that's why I like to hear your opinions. Like, if you throw, hey, I like this photo, it should be a 5 or a 3, make sure in your comment you leave the name or the photo that you're talking about, so that if they end up watching the chat when they're watching the replay, if they're not here right now, they know what photo you're talking about. Kylie, very symmetrical, cool. I don't love that the railing is in the photo. I would have like cropped that out, or if you could have, I don't know where you're standing, if there was a possibility of like leaning over the railing. I probably would have done that. It's a little overexposed in some areas, but it's very cool. I mean, this looks like some like very old building. And again, still symmetrical though. I'm going to give it a 3. Very symmetrical. You hit the nail on the head with the symmetry. So I think it's great. Abhishek. Ooh, this is a cool temple-like building. Very neat. It's an interesting choice to like take this photo from far away where you see the steps. And I think it actually is a creative way to take this photo. Like, You probably took a photo closer up. You probably walked up those stairs and took a photo. I'm not sure what that would have looked like. Like, am I distracted by like the touristy staircase and the fence that's blocking the path in front of me? Maybe, but it's kind of cool. You get to see the building, and it creates more symmetry with the buildings on the left and right. The sky's pretty good. You didn't overdo it with the edit in terms of like cranking up the dehaze and oversaturating the sky, which I think some people could have done with this. But I really like it. Good framing. So I'm going to give this one a 3 as well. Good photo. Hit the symmetry really well. Okay, Michael Beswick. Love seeing these. Again, it's just like taking your camera out and taking photos on your day-to-day. Now, what do you think about this photo? As I drink a sip of my iced coffee. Sorry, you're gonna hear like crunching ice. Very interesting. It's just not perfectly symmetrical, right? Like however you're taking this, you're a little bit to the left, so that like the glass doors don't go perfectly symmetrical. So if you're going to take a shot like this for the symmetry challenge, I would challenge you to try to find, I'm guessing you probably could have done that. I'm like, if you were just to the right, like one little floor tile over to the right, I think it would have been more perfectly symmetrical. And I almost would have like tried to step back and zoom in. Again, I'm just a Monday night quarterback. What's the saying? Someone in America help me out with the saying. Tuesday, is it because there's Monday Night Football? So it's like, is it the Tuesday quarterback? I'm talking about this after the fact. Like, oh yeah, you should do this, but who knows? Maybe there was a person right there, or you don't have a telephoto lens or a zoom lens. But I think you could have backed out, zoomed in a little bit, so you get rid of a little bit of the stuff at the top and just have the 2 rows of glass perfectly symmetrical. 2 stars for this one. Peter, cool photo. Wow, this is actually skillfully symmetrical. Even though that the train platform, the architecture of the covering is symmetrical, you captured this where there's 2 trains practically perfectly symmetrical and 2 people on the platform almost perfectly symmetrical. So that takes timing and skill to do that. So props for that. I think the edit to me is a little bit dark. I think you could probably expose a little bit brighter or brought up the shadows in the edit so we can see things a little bit more easily. But I actually think this is a really cool photo. I think that the challenge of getting this to be symmetrical kind of gives you an extra point in my book, right? So, okay. I want to give like 1s and 5 stars. So I think I have to start like creating more of a spread amongst my photo reviews. So I'm going to give this one a 4 star. Although if you ever watched The Great British Baking Show, you know how Paul Hollywood gives like the handshake when it's like he does it like 1 or 2 times in a season to the best bakes of the competitors. That's what I want the 5 star to feel like. I want it to be like, okay, Phil only gives out 5 stars like once in a blue moon. So if I get a 5 star, it's like super special. Cree Harris, this is cool. It is symmetrical. This is one where I feel like you push the sky, like dehaze or whatever it is, a little bit too far. It starts to feel a little unnatural. You're trying to bring back information from the sky, but there's just not information in the clouds right there. And so when you do that, it creates this weird contrast of like the exposures where it's like the clouds have like these sharp edges and it just starts to look a little unnatural. But it's like a really good place for symmetry. Like, do I want it to be like not at an angle? I don't know. What do you think? Do you want it to be an angle? I kind of don't want it to be an angle for this challenge, even though it's symmetrical. I'm gonna give this one a 2. I'm sorry. I think that the sky could be edited a little bit better, and then I would have rather had it straight on. Derek, cool building. Another cool building that has great symmetry. It's a little off symmetrically. You're a little bit to the left taking this photo. The sky, the light is kind of cool coming up. Those lasers in the sky are pretty cool. Maybe I would have like tried to like perfectly center myself, get a little closer so you crop out the people down below. Either like make the people more a part of the photo or crop them out, right? Like you see the tops of their heads, but you can't tell like, oh, is this like a dinner party or something? Like I think it still could have been a cool photo if you were backed out a little bit and you saw more of the tables and the people. But again, I'm quarterbacking after the game, and so who knows? There's probably people right there that would then be like cropped weird. So it's creative enough. I'm gonna give it a 3. It's not perfectly symmetrical, but it's like kind of interesting. More interesting to look at. I don't know. Cade. Ooh, this is cool. Using a reflection of the Opera House, which is not in Sydney, which is not a symmetrical building, to create symmetry is very cool. And I like the really wide panoramic, or not panoramic, but the wide framing crop of it. I think it's really cool. Yeah, this is just really cool. Maybe you could boost this exposure just a little bit, bump up the contrast just a tiny bit. You can't tell. It looks like maybe like a bride or someone in a dress who's having their photos taken down at the end, which is kind of cool. But really good job getting the symmetry right there. I'm going to give this a 4. So good job, Cade. Magenta Bear. Ooh, interesting. All right. So I like that it's centered because these two shapes have symmetry if we cut the line down the middle. It's super negative space. Like, what is it? I guess I'm like, what is it that I wish was different about this photo? Because there's something about it that just, it's cool. I like the colors, but maybe it's like a photo that doesn't lend itself to like a symmetry challenge where you're trying to center things, unless maybe the balloon, you got it at an angle where it was like touching the moon. Like how cool would that be? Or if the bottom of the hot air balloon was like touching the tip of the moon. Now, probably couldn't have done that. I don't know where you were. Like you probably couldn't have run forward to like get that kind of angle, but it's still a cool photo. And I do like negative space photos. I kind of just wish, since it is centered, there's something about like it being the moon and the balloon being at the top and bottom that like to me doesn't feel as strong as if they were kind of moved towards each other in the center of the frame, like have all this negative space around something in the middle. Yeah, but I wonder where this was. Very cool. I'm going to give this a 3. I think it's a little bit different, but the symmetry too, like, is it as strong as some of the other things that we've seen symmetrically? Maybe. Diana. Ooh, this is a cool photo. Again, the architecture of all these buildings is very cool. I'm catching up on these chats. Yeah, very cool photo. Great symmetry, great edit. I like it a lot. This reminds me of like some of the photos that Will was trying to capture in Photo Dash in San Francisco when he had the architectural challenge. This is beautiful. Love it. Yeah, I love everything about it. Perfectly symmetrical. Everything is symmetrical. You see like every arch, every detail. And then, of course, you have the paintings that are mirrored in a sense as well. So Diana, I am going to give this a 4. Very good. Very good photo. Close to a 5. All right, next photo. Why is my... Okay, am I on? Yes, okay. Mubin, didn't you post a photo like this before? Because it works for this challenge too, symmetry with the silhouette and the reflection. I think it's not perfectly symmetrical. You would need to be tilted up just a little bit because you can see on the right-hand side, the tower on that pier, you see more of it in the reflection than up top. Still, there's symmetry, right? So like symmetry doesn't mean it has to be like perfectly equal on both sides or up and down. Not necessarily. I think this is one again where like it's interesting, and I think I have the same comment. Like, I would rather maybe even be like tighter and closer up on the people and the end of the pier than see more of the pier on the right side. It's like I want it to either be a photo of the story of these people or of just the pier. And so still though, I mean, I'm being super critical on this photo because the lighting, the sky, it's a really cool photo with the reflection and the colors in the sky. But yeah, definitely I think cropping at the bottom for sure. I'm going to give it a 3. Good photo, but I think you could have, or maybe a 2, 2.5, 3 leaning 2, because I think you could have simply cropped it to create more symmetry. Pawan Wat. This is a super cool photo and I love this as an example of something that's symmetrical in a sense, but it's not like perfectly symmetrical because we have these organic people with different shapes playing different instruments on the left and the right. I think the fact that there's like some like director, some leader at the front and the middle actually helps with the symmetry in a sense, because it really breaks the photo into a left and a right half. You even have like this microphone or something, or oh no, it's not a microphone, it's like a hook with some string in the middle that's creating symmetry, or creating like a split line down the middle, which I think is pretty cool. So very cool photo. And I actually like the edit. I like the faded sort of look. Like you didn't push it too far in the edit to try to like bring back a bunch of contrast in the background because the lighting looks kind of like faded. So really cool. I'm going to give this a 4-star. Good job. Linda Saeta, cool, great use of a reflection for your symmetry. And again, I think this is a good example, and it's a good note to me that like symmetry doesn't have to mean perfectly centered, because sometimes a photo just looks better if the horizon is not perfectly in the middle of a photo. And this is one of them. I actually kind of like how you can see some of the branches going into the water at the bottom. The quality of the upload or the resolution is a little bit low. I don't know if that's from me downloading it and putting it into the slideshow or just the quality that you uploaded. I kind of wish that it was like wider, almost like the whole landscape. I don't know what's to the left and what's to the right of this frame. And another thing you probably could have done, just I think maybe been a little bit more interesting, is if you lowered the camera so it was even closer to the water. I don't mind having like the foreground elements, those branches and things in the water in the frame, but I think lowering the camera would allow you to get a little bit more room in the sky, which I think it feels a little top heavy, right? Like this photo, like most of like what I want to look at is at the top half of the frame, but still getting everything, within this frame. So maybe a wider shot. I don't know what's to the left and right, down, lower your angle. But still, really good photo. I think an improvement on what I've seen in the past. So great job, Linda. All right, Celeste has this photo of this staircase. you guys are going to be going around, and I do this too. You're going to be going around with your friends and family and being like, that's symmetrical. Look at that. Look at that symmetry. Symmetry there. Because it's everywhere. And this is pretty cool. I am never a fan of like super tight, tall photos like this. It's just an unnatural framing to me, or crop. And that's my problem, probably. I don't know. Is it my problem? I just feel like something feels like I just want more breathing room on the left and the right. But that's my problem. But in terms of the crop, you probably did this to showcase the symmetry better. For a photo like this, with like an architectural photo, this is, again, my opinion, but I feel like generally with architectural photos, I want my perpendicular lines, my up and down lines, not perpendicular. Yeah, perpendicular. I want those to be like straight up. So that would mean for this photo, which again would be a little bit harder, instead of shooting up like at an up angle, trying to get your camera as high as possible so that you're photographing the staircase straight on, and so that those lines on the left and the right of the staircase aren't going out. That's my preference for architectural photos, and generally what I think makes an architectural photo look better. And I think if you did that, you could have cropped out the top or tilted down a little bit from the top, so you don't need that, right? Because really, if we're tight and cropped in on like just the round railing of the staircase and that shape itself, you can lose a bit of the top. So I'm going to give this a 2. It's not my favorite photo. I think the black and white edit, though, I'll give you a little credit. I think that was a smart choice for this photo. Lovely other reflection. So here's an example where Eric got the camera, put it down closer to the water. You get a little bit more of the sky, and you still have those foreground objects, though. And I think that builds depth and layers in this photo to like have the rocks in the water, and they feel closer to the frame, but it's not in a distracting way. I really love this photo. Like, part of me feels like, oh, it's kind of dark, but that's just because it was probably taken like 30, 40 minutes after the sun set, or I don't know. And so I feel like brightening it up a little bit, but this is so close to a 5-star photo. 4 stars for me. Really lovely colors, really lovely symmetry. Yeah, very nice. And like David said, this is a great tip. If you have Lightroom, and most tools, editing tools, they'll have something like a transform tool where you can tell Lightroom like these 2 perpendicular lines should be straight, and it will try to make those straight. It will end up like warping or bending or rotating or changing the angle or perspective of the photo to get those lines straight. But for architectural shots, it's like really a great thing to play around with. Lunas asks, I think about this one, is the color natural? It feels pretty natural. I bet that Eric boosted the saturation a bit, but it looks like a natural sky, not like a sky replacement or anything like that. Oh, I need a sound effect for this one, but this is the new Rate My Teacher segment. So this is where you get a chance to rate my photo. I don't know if you were of the age where ratemyprofessor.com was a thing. I mean, maybe it's still a thing now, but you got to go on, leave a star rating for your professor. And so when you're picking classes in college, you could see, oh, yeah, no, not going to take that one. Or, oh, I really want that professor. So this is my photo I took for this symmetry challenge. So what I want you to do is be as harsh as you want. Give me feedback, give me critique for the symmetry challenge. So here's my photo. that I captured in my hometown. Linda, you might recognize this building. So this is a photo that I have seen this building, and I've always wanted to take a photo of this building. And it happened to have rained the night before, and I was just driving by it, and I was coming from a park with my kids, and I was like, oh my God, there's a puddle. There's a puddle on the ground. And I was like, that's going to be cool symmetry. So I ran over. This was just with my phone. I didn't have my other camera, but I tried to line it up perfectly. I used the transform tool in Lightroom to like straighten out the posts so that those were perfectly up and down. And at first I thought, oh, it'd be kind of cool to like that staircase on the right is like not, obviously there's not a staircase on the left, so that kind of breaks the symmetry left to right. But I loved it because it was like symmetry left, right, and top, bottom with the reflection. So no, you guys are being too nice. But yeah, this building's super cool because it has this like big opening in the top as well. It's not like two buildings. It's like actually this rectangular opening for the sky. So yeah, it was a little bit hard. The camera, you get a little bit of like weird, oh God, what's that word for that? In the tree in the center, like if you look at the leaves, it's like this weird, the edges of everything are kind of messed up with the exposure. And that was just like in the original photo. God, why can't I think of that? But anyways, that's my biggest gripe with this photo. Kind of old schooly. I don't know, what is this, like 50s architecture? All right, anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna try to take part in all the challenges, and like with this one, it was just with my phone, but it was like in the back of my mind, I was like, I need to take a symmetrical photo shot this week. The students are gonna get really mad at me if I don't participate. Defringing, thank you, Linda. Yes, the fringe. Yes, the fringing on the edge. I probably should have like seen if I could fix that. But I got really close to the surface of this puddle to get that reflection. All right, well, thank you all for that. All right, let's move on. Hong Wang, this is a cool symmetrical shot. Also with somewhat of a reflection, but I think more the symmetry comes from the face of these mountains. This looks like it's in Grand Canyon, I'm guessing. The sky is very blue, maybe a little oversaturated blue, but still really cool. I'm gonna give this a 3. Just I like the natural symmetry to it. It's not one that I'm like, oh wow, symmetry, but I think it fits the challenge pretty well. Maria, this is a cool photo. Looking up at this building, so much symmetry in buildings. Nice, cool lines. Like, wow, my neck's even hurting just looking at this photo. Yeah, cool photo. I'm gonna give it a 3. I think for no like bad reason, it's a good photo. It's symmetry. Yeah. Karen, okay, looking through the bottom of this bridge. This is cool. Interesting. It's a little hard to see like what's going on. I like the framing within the frame. There's like a lot of compositional techniques here that like lend themselves to a nice looking photo. But oh, Lake Power Page. Okay, Hong corrected me. That was not the Grand Canyon. There's something about this photo where it's just I'm distracted by like the plants in the background. Like maybe if it was focused just on like the architectural shapes of this building being symmetrical, it would be better. But that's hard in this location with like the plants and the lighting. You got like shadows going to one side, so that like breaks up the symmetry. Yeah, I'm gonna give this a 2. Sorry, Karen. I think there's just like maybe a different place. Go out there, capture something else with symmetry. I feel like you tried with that bridge and it just was a little hard. All right, Todd posted this photo. And when I first saw this, I was like, where is the symmetry? There's obviously symmetry in the building, but I do feel like Todd did not capture the symmetry in the photo, right? Like, you have this building with like, looks like this old castle type building with windows in the center. You even have like the top of the roof and the arch underneath of the doorway. And if you could have captured it in a symmetrical way in your composition, I think that would have made it better for me. I don't know. I feel like I feel like I want the photo composition to be symmetrical along with the subject itself, right? So, Todd, I'm going to give you a 2-star. I think this subject, probably a cleaner, better subject to be symmetrical, but just the composition to me, I wish was actually symmetrical as well. Chelsea, ooh, this is cool in the library with the building. This is really cool location with interesting symmetry. This is one where I probably would have, again, used that transform tool in Lightroom or something like that to get the bookshelves to be perfectly perpendicular and straight on and symmetrical. And I wish, maybe this is not possible, but I wish you could have backed out so that the staircase was more framed within the light of the window behind it, because I think that's super cool. Like, you get to see the details of this intricate staircase. So yeah, I think backing out, pushing, if that was possible, obviously maybe you're like butted up next to a wall or something, but backing out, pushing that staircase a little bit further from the camera so that it's framed within that window would have been really cool. And I think it's just a little, like Maria says, a little hard to see what's going on. And maybe that's okay when it's just a photo of like a silhouetted staircase, but when we're in this room, I kind of want to see a little bit more as well. I'm going to give this a 2-star as well. I think the location lends itself to symmetry. It's, I think, very creative, but something about the angle and just, I wish it was different. Bill, I saw this photo and I love this. This is like abstract art to me. Super symmetrical, looking up at this like electrical tower with all these shapes. Very, very cool. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I think some people are going to be like, oh, I love this photo. And some people are going to be like, I don't know. But I actually love this photo. I think it's super cool. I mean, if I were to be like super picky, this is like so picky, but like in the top left and the top right, you start to see a little bit of like a brighter exposure on the posts, or the, like, whatever those are, the beams on the left and the right. I would have just used like a little linear gradient to like darken that up so that the edges of the photo from top to bottom are dark, because you already have like the dark beams like pretty much perfectly cropped, but just darken that up so that it's not like this weird highlight. You probably wouldn't notice this if this wasn't on the black background of this slideshow anyways, but I get to be picky because that's what I'm doing. But this is a 4-star photo for me. Good job, Bill. Great work. Bill. Remember Bill Nye? Ritu, this is cool. I thought this was very cool because it's hard to get a photo of not only a bug, but a bug symmetrically on a plant. So unless you have some magical bug powers where you can tell this bug to just like stand there. I don't know. What is that? A grasshopper? Doesn't look like the grasshoppers in my yard, but very cool. The vignette is a little too heavy for me. I think it's just the edit that I don't like. It's a little too heavy. Maybe a little oversaturated on the green as well, but I love the idea, and this is a difficult photo to capture, so like +1 for the difficulty. I'm gonna give it a 3. Just change some of the edits. I think this vignette is a little bit strong, and it would be even better in my book. Emma. I love this photo. This is such a cool photo. I mean, the ballerinas, like, I think lend themselves to symmetry. Like, obviously they do positions that are symmetrical. Some of their body shapes and types are symmetrical, like similar. The way they do their hair is symmetrical. Like, this was a case where I don't know if you were trying to like tell them what to do and to be symmetrical, or if they were just doing this pose and you captured the shot. But I just love this as your submission for this challenge. I don't know. It's just like, and maybe I'm drawn towards photos of like people more. It's just so clean. It's so, there's like a gentleness in like them. And this isn't a yeah, no, this isn't like, for a second I was like, wait, is this a mirror? Is there a mirror in the middle? Is it the same person? But no, you can tell it's different people, which I think makes it even more like just like such a cool photo. So, like everyone who seems to like this photo, good job. I'm gonna give it a 5-star. Okay, good job. First 5-star of the day. First 5-star in a while. So really good job. All right. Let's see. Who's next? Michelle. Okay, yes, Michelle. Using the reflection, symmetry. This is one where I would probably have like wanted to focus just on those cranes a bit more, tighten it up perhaps. Because like the rest, I don't know if it's as interesting to look at, like that whole dock. I probably would have tried to get it to crop it or frame it where I'm not seeing that tree in the left. It's okay. It's good symmetry. I'm gonna give it a. Sorry, I give it a 2. I'm gonna give it a 3 because I think it like it did what I asked for in the challenge. It's just not as interesting to me of a subject. Emanuele. I love nature. I love this. I actually don't mind that the leaf is ripped in one area or eaten or whatever, which breaks the symmetry. And I love photos like this. Is the type of photo I like. So, without Phil's handicap on, maybe it's a 3-star. I kind of like it 4-star. I don't know. It's actually just very cool. Like, it's simple. It's not like the most complex subject or story. But it's just like spot on. Good job. You captured symmetry well. So I'm going to give it a 3. That I don't want to take away from this photo. I think it's really good. Hit the nail on the head with the symmetry. Ooh, this is a cool photo. Tali. Love the symmetry of both the reflection and then also the houses, even though the houses are a little bit different. I like that you like captured both of them and not just like zoomed in on one of them. I think that like adds to the symmetry. I think the edit is a little over edited. I think probably like the dehaze or the contrast, something like that, and the saturation inherently because of the contrast. All of those are a little bit high. I would back away on those, but really nailed the head, nail on the head, hit the nail on the head with the symmetry, and I like the reflection too. And the sky is beautiful, so 4 stars. Annette. Ooh, this is a cool photo. The quality doesn't come in that great in your post. It almost feels like you're slightly to the right of the center of that road. I don't know if it's, or maybe it's just the way the road bends just a little bit, but you see like a little bit more on the right side, especially if you look at the trees. You see like in the bottom where the road, like the road or the sidewalks. Oh no, Oh no, am I still live? I hope I'm still live. It said my internet went out. Let me know if you can still see me and hear me. But yes, I wish it was a little bit sharper too. So 2 stars for that one. Let me know if you can still see me and hear me. Oh, I came back. Okay, so I got lost. All right, Abios. This photo, cool. It's not sharp. The shutter speed is a little bit low and the focus seems to be a little off, and the lighting it's just like high ISO, getting a lot of grain. It's probably dark in here, so that's tough. I think it would have been cool to like take this photo on a tripod and get like a actual long shutter so that you have like a time lapse, or not time lapse, but long exposure of people blurring going by. So it's like hard. It's like you want to either have everything sharp or actually intentionally make it a long exposure. The symmetry's there. There's just like a lot of things. I'm sorry, Abios. You got I'm gonna give this a 1 star just because there's a few issues that I have. The lighting, the sharpness, the focus does seem a little bit off unless it's just like the upload, like everything looks a little bit blurry. So if this is a place you can go back to and try the exact same photo, I think it could be a really good photo and interesting, especially like I said, try putting your camera on a tripod, do a long exposure, get people blurry moving by. That would allow you to get a brighter photo so that you're not bumping up the ISO, which leads to a lot of digital. Oh my gosh, are we back? All right, sorry about that. I think I am back. I don't know if anyone stuck around for me, but I think I am back. So I'm gonna try to get through this, but yeah, technical difficulties on my end. My internet is being a little wonky. Okay, so anyways, I'm here. All right, so Janet, I think for this photo, I don't know if I got cut off, but I kind of want to see more of this. I feel like there might be more symmetry. Maybe there's not, and that's why you cropped in. But I'm going to give it a 2. It's kind of symmetrical. It's kind of cool, but is it the most interesting subject or creature shape? I don't know. Mirella, this is a lovely photo. I love this because you captured symmetry in the location, but also maybe you were here looking at the beads trying to capture this reflection and the symmetry, or maybe you were capturing the symmetry of the rocks and the water and the bee just happened to land there. Either way, I really like this photo. I love it. Great sharpness, great detail, great shallow depth of field, but focused on the bee and the rocks. Symmetry left, right as well. Oh, is my voice off? Let's see. Is my mic on? Huh. Oh no. Let me know if I'm sounding weird to all of you. But I like this one, so I'm gonna give it a 4 star. Really good job. Wow, I did it. I got through symmetry. That's awesome. Okay, I didn't know if I was gonna. I kind of keep track of how many photos there are, but man, we did it. Right at the buzzer too in terms of my Wi-Fi, but I want to get through the natural frames as well. So if you're here with me, I'm going to keep going and I'm going to be doing the natural frames speed round. So I'm going to go through these, not give as much feedback, but try to get through these in the next 10 minutes or so or less. So let's do it. Natural frames. So with this challenge, we were talking about, I was looking for framing within a frame, framing something within a frame in your photo, but the frame should be something natural, okay? Oh, my sync is off. Okay, sorry about that. Hopefully it'll be better next time. All right, so let's go. I don't think there's anything I will be able to do to fix that. Let me change my microphone back. It's going to do anything. Maybe I should just like not show myself. Sorry about that. I'm gonna all right. So natural frames, let's just get through it. All right, Magdalena, framing of these trees, got this rocks river going through it. Kind of interesting. A lot going on. I'm gonna give this a 2-star. A little bit too much going on. I'm looking for maybe something like more clearly a clearer subject within the frame. Yeah, I don't know. Evan Billings, beautiful photo. I wouldn't call it natural frames unless we're talking about like how the shape of all of these mountains kind of frame the snow, or the snow frames the mountains. That's an interesting take on it, actually. That might be what you were going for, Evan. I was gonna like just give you a 1-star because I think that I don't really see the frames, but if I look at it that way, it's good. I mean, this is a beautiful photo. Let me like start over and say, wow, Evan, this is an awesome photo. I love the texture. I love the mountains. Like, I don't know if this is a drone shot or from a plane or what. Beautiful photo. In terms of this specific challenge, I'm not sure if it's best. This would be 5-star if it was a aerial photography photo, or a landscape or something like that. For this challenge, I'm going to give it a 2-star though. All right, this one. So this is more what I'm talking about, like having a framing of a tree, the tree frame something. A little bit dark, a little hard to see what's in the frame, these buildings, there's cool reflections, but I think because it's dark, I'm not 100% sure if I like it. Maybe if I was tighter in, or maybe if I was like closer to the tree, so like the full tree trunks frame this photo. But you're getting there. 3 stars, I think like 2 stars, maybe. I don't know. Right there in between there. Alan, maybe this was like a confusing challenge because I feel like the natural frame, maybe did people just think like natural beauty, like a frame of something natural? I don't see the natural frame in this one. I'm going to give this one a 1-star. Sorry, Alan. Good photo though. This is cool. I like this, Abhishek. This is more what I'm thinking of. I wish that you could have done this, found another trunk or something to do this, where you saw the face of this rock without that tree in the way, right? Like there's a tree right in front of the subject that I want to see. Like without that 4 or 5-star photo, for me this is a 3-star photo just because of that. Maybe you could have found another place to do this exact photo and see the face of the mountain a little bit more. Adam, ooh, this I love. 5-star right off the bat. I love this photo. Beautiful sunlight. It's not a full frame, but still I like the framing at the left and the top of this scene, and just the lighting, the reflection. This is a photo where if this was captured in the middle of the day, bright sunlight overhead, probably not as beautiful to look at. But because it's at sunset, or likely sunset, maybe sunrise, the colors of the sky are amazing. Like David said, best so far. Priya Darshan, this is a cool photo. I like the framing of the branch. I would have tried to edit it to bump up the exposure on the bird, so that the bird is exposed brighter so we can see the detail. But other than that, it's pretty good. I just think maybe even in editing you could fix that still. But I think natural frame, this is like pretty good. 4 stars. Colette, ooh, this is nice. Ooh, yeah, like this, great job. And I don't know if this is our fault. or due to us, likely just due to you being in the photography and friends community and being inspired by all the other photographers here. But I feel like a beginner trying to take this photo would just be like, oh, let me take a photo of this like cityscape across the water, and not do it with the framing of the tree up above. Adding that framing with the like kind of fall colors, the yellow leaves up above, in my opinion, just makes this a 5 times, 10 times more artistic photo. And really nice edit, really nice colors. So yeah, this is good. I'm gonna give it a 4. Oh, I don't know, 4 or 5. Heck, why not 5 stars? This is pretty good, pretty solid. All right, Hong Wang. Ooh, this is good. Yeah, this is good. I mean, natural frame. I think I'll count it. It's, a man-made structure, but still, I'll count it as a frame that you found that framed a subject. Very good. This is one of those ones where, like, depending on the time of day, the lighting, there is a bit of haze. And so what do you do with this photo? Do you crank up the dehaze for the mountain? Then does it start to look a little unnatural? This is more natural to what you probably saw in person. I like it. And so, yeah, I'm going to give this a 4 star. Rojo. I think missed what I was expecting from this. I mean, I guess there's some natural framing of like the trees and the people in the trees. Looks like this place probably had a lot of amazing places to create like a natural frame within a frame. So I'm going to give it a 2 just because the photo is cool. I like it, but I think, missed the mark. Ooh, David, this is nice. Lovely photo. Again, I think ups the artistic quality of a photo. Again, beginners probably go here, Yosemite, see the big mountains, and take a photo of the mountain. An artistic photographer sees the mountain, sees how can I frame this with something in the foreground. And so this is beautiful. David, good job. 5 stars from me. Love this photo. Really good job. Isaac White. Ooh, this is cool. It looks like you push the crop a little bit because like the resolution or the sharpness on this bird is like a little low. I would love to have seen this exact photo like cropped like right in there tighter where the bird was sharp and you could really see that bird. I don't mind it being silhouetted, but it's a little bit, I just feel like tighter would have been better. But still, a really nice frame. And I like that behind the frame, something that I think a lot of people run into is like, you have a frame within a frame, you have a subject, but what's behind that subject? Is it distracting? Does it make it hard to see what that subject is? You did a really good job here of like just happen. Maybe it was luck, but you have this subject that stands out really well in the background. So I'm going to give it a 3. I think there's like the sharpness, the details that aren't there, but still really good. Kush Shah, I think missed the mark on the natural frame, natural framing. Nice photo, but for this challenge, not so much. Todd, really cool photo. That's nice. It's dark. It feels dark. And it feels like, was this like a long exposure at night? If that's the case, it kind of makes sense that it's so dark because it kind of looks like the lighting. I don't know what's going on here. Or is it underexposed to like capture the moon? I don't know. Like there's shadows coming from another light source that's maybe the sun or maybe the sunset. Part of me wishes like the moon was more like centered within this like rock formation, the framing, it feels kind of like, I don't know, or it's kind of cool. It kind of looks like this rock is eating the moon. Maybe that's what you were going for. I'm going to give it a 4. I think it's a very creative use of this frame and having a subject behind it. Obviously, if the moon wasn't there, it would still be a cool photo, but it's not that natural frames idea. Kylie, oh, this is a cool photo. Wow, look at that tree. That's very neat. This is one where it's a bit hard to expose properly. You have to decide, okay, am I going to expose to the background or am I going to expose for the foreground? I like seeing the detail of the trees, but I almost think you could have exposed more towards the background so that the lady's hair wasn't so overexposed. And if that made everything darker, that's okay. I still think you could have had like the shapes and seen some detail in the shapes of these tree trunks. Maybe crop in just a little bit tighter. Lose that like little open area on the left of the trunk and tighten in. So very creative. And I don't know if you just like happened to click it at the perfect moment or if this is like your mom or something and you're like, oh, go one more time, keep walking. I need it again. But good moment. So I'm gonna give it a 4-star. I do feel like in this natural frames thing, I'm being a little bit more generous with my stars, but that's okay. Peter, this is a lovely photo. Lovely lighting, lovely framing. Just lovely. Yeah, just there's nothing much more to say. I like the soft, hazy look of it as well. You didn't try to like sharpen things up. The colors, I don't mind the exposure being a little bit darker. So this is right up there with some of the my other favorites for this challenge. So 5 for Peter for this one. Nguyen, is there frames? I guess the trees are framing the river, right? So that's cool. It's a nice color, nice place, nice reflection. 3, maybe 4 stars. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's not as like frame within a framey as I want. So I think 3 for me. You know me. I love my frame within a frame. Kendra. Yeah, I don't think it. There's nature kind of in that sky. That sky looks really cool, but it's not really framing the way that I want. Sorry, Kendra. 1 star. Clara. Nice portrait. I think for this challenge, if you had gotten back somewhere where there's some foreground elements framing these kids in the photo with the same background, that would work. Maybe the idea was that this nature is framing your kids. Maybe. So it's a nice photo. It's not exactly what I was looking for in this challenge. And maybe I think that for this challenge, it's my fault. Kate B, this is nice. I think you submitted this photo for another challenge as well. But I think this is perfect frame within a frame. Very good natural framing. I like those foreground elements. 4 to 5. Oh, Kate B. Oh, is this another one? Huh. I wonder what happened there. This is great. I love this. I love this framing. This is really good. I think the last one I probably should go to 3 because this one is a 4 for me. This is great natural framing. It's not like natural in the sense of like nature, I guess. So I don't know if I should deduct a point off for that. But man, look at that perfect framing of that train track with the train there, waiting for the train to go by with the mountain in the background. Very lovely. Ooh, that's lovely. I like that. This is fun. I don't like the trash cans in the background. Maybe if you could have been to the right a little bit more and seen the face of the cat, that's kind of cool. 3, you did it. It's nice. there's some things I wish were different, but you got a natural frame, so I'll give you that. Paul Anderson, this is somewhat framing. You got like the framing of this bush framing this like structure in the background. It feels a little bit like bottom heavy, like tilting up or getting a little bit less. More Skyrim kind of would have helped me. Yeah, maybe two. Yeah, cats. We need more cats. That's how you get extra credit. Kathy, the plants frame these stairs. Is that what we're going for? Maybe. It's hard to see. It's hard to see the subject. I don't like that bench thing in the bottom. I need more clarity in what the frame is and what the subject is. So 2, yeah. Mubin, beautiful photo, not natural frames. 1 star for natural frames, 3 or 4 star for landscape sunset photo. Simone Blake, okay, well, this is natural framing of the water, which is kind of nice. The colors look so funky. Is that how it is naturally? It looks like the greens are desaturated in some areas and then oversaturated in others, and the purples looks a little funky, so the edit looks funky. The subject being the lake, kind of interesting. I wish like there was like a bird you could focus on that was framed within these cool flowers and the water or something like that. So 3 stars. It's interesting, but there's some funky stuff going on with the edit. James, interesting photo. Super hard to take a photo of this. Is that like a... What is that? Is that a ship back there? At first I thought it was like a castle or a fort. It's too hard to tell, which, you know, in a photo like this, the point isn't to capture a perfectly exposed, sharp photo of whatever that subject is, because it was foggy and you're trying to get that sense of the fog. I feel like I want in this photo, since there's so little to see in the background, I want more framing, like more frame, like a tighter frame to make this a more interesting photo. It's on that edge of like, well, that's a distraction. Like the leaves are a distraction. And I just want like this calm shot of this like foggy water, or I want more to really frame this subject. I don't know if that makes sense. So I'm going to give it a 2. I don't know. My ratings are all over the place. Ravi, framing of this path, interesting, but I want like a subject. Something like that. Walking by to make it more engaging. And I didn't do that challenge, so you didn't get to rate me for that one. Sorry, but that is it. I've been talking nonstop for hours. And it wasn't just here with Frame by Frame, which has been so fun, but it was with the Powerful Photography course that I'm working on. If you have not done so yet, comment on this post. It's in the announcement. Sorry, Emma Wizards Miss. I need to double check these. I'm sorry. Again, didn't I miss yours last time? Comment on this post though. If you have any ways that you have made impact with your photography around the world, around your home, around your friends, your family, your community, let me know. I'm just curious. And then next week, I will be back for Frame by Frame with the Still Life Photo Challenge. So for this one, what I'm looking for is a interesting setup of, think of like still life paintings where we've got the Van Goghs of the paintings of like the sunflowers in a vase, something like that, where you're really paying attention to the objects that are in the photo. Lighting is going to probably be very important. So like pushing you over just like a basic photo. Think about lighting. So using lighting coming in from a window or something, or even not natural light, using like a flash or something to create some interesting lighting. I'm not gonna really look through these photos. I don't want to see all of them yet. But yeah, so very interested to see this. This is one where I think you can make the photo more than just take the photo. So if you have to move objects, put them together, stage it a little bit, I think that's something you could practice for this challenge. And so yeah, I'll be excited about that. Next week is also, I believe, we have a live Q&A on Wednesday afternoon. So this is your chance to ask us questions about photography or anything else. Sam and Will and I should all be there next Wednesday. All of our live streams are scheduled out here in the live sessions and replays page of the community. So yes, Wednesday, October 8th, 2 to 3 p.m. And all of the replays can be seen on the YouTube channel. So if you miss it, just watch the replay. If you have questions for us for this Q&A and you can't be there, or if you just want to get your questions in ahead of time, post them to the comments here below on this event page, so that we will refer to those questions during the live stream for people who aren't live. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm glad I was able to get, gosh, geez Louise. I'm glad I was able to get back here with all you. I really appreciate it. Emma, Luna's videos, Maria, Suzanne, Carolyn, David, Bob, Bill, all of you who stuck it out with me, Maria, who were here earlier. I love Linda. I love chatting with you live while I'm here. It's like one of the best, even though it's just me chatting to like a camera, I do like connecting through the chat. So I appreciate you being here and being a supporter as always. And with that, I want to say a quick thank you to all of the supporters. Let's see, where are you? There you are, who are supporters of Photography and Friends. So if you go to Photography and Friends, the website, you can be a supporter by clicking the Become a Supporter button for $5 a month. It's kind of like a tip that you are giving us just for saying thank you for going live, for doing the live Q&As and the weekly frame by frame and all of that. So thank you all. Thank you all. All right. With that being said, as I say every week, have a beautiful day. I hope you have a beautiful week. I hope you capture it with your cameras, and I will see you next Wednesday for the Q&A and Thursday for frame by frame. All right. See ya. Have a great week. Bye. Sorry about the technical difficulties. See ya. Ciao. Sayonara.